and welcome to Milo and Marcus Garage. Today we have something, something pretty cool for you guys. As you might remember, we purchased a motocross for my father so he could learn how to ride a bike for a little bit, yeah? Well, for the past, let's say, couple of weeks, I've been working on the D-Cross project, trying to, tune it a little bit, just a tiny little bit of tuning, you know what I mean, yes? But basically, today we are going to be installing a Dell'Orto 21mm carburetor instead of the Dell'Orto 15mm carburetor. Bad, very good. So, without further ado, let's get working. Alright. So, first order of business is installing the piston. This is the little piston that basically is the slide of the carburetor, right? So it opens and closes for both the air and fuel. So this is a bit tricky since, well, it just is. Let's be honest, this is always a bit of a tricky part to do. You first have to feed it through here in order to then feed it through the slide so it stays attached like this. Right, so when you pull on the gas lever, it opens and closes. So, in order for us to do that, we first of all feed this through the little hole right there. See that? So we feed it through. It's always a bit tricky. Get it right in the first time, especially since this is a slightly different type. So the easiest way to do this would be to get it like that. Yeah. So take it out, feed that through, put that back on. Spring is pretty hard to compress, so I usually hold on to the wire and just gently compress it until I can sort of touch this. There we go. Now that that is compressed, we can feed it through here. Come on. It's not always that easy, especially when you're actually switching between types of carburetors. Things may not fit perfectly, but they should fit good enough. So, just like that. That's a matter of getting this to press back on. There we go. That's pressed back on. That's good. Now, the next item on the list is to put this through that. See, you can see the springs are overlapping. I don't think that should be happening. Let's try that one more time. No, they shouldn't be overlapping. Okay, I think it's good enough. Then, just a matter of feeding this through here. Right. So, again, we compress the spring, this time with the white thing on. Put that thing through. Okay, almost there. Yep, I think that is okay. Seems to be sitting well. Good. Now with that we've got this sorted. Ah, shite. Can you see the mistake I did? Let me see the camera. Yeah. See this little bar here? The cable's going underneath it. I put it through there just because it was it kept sliding off. But now I messed it up a bit because now I have to redo everything. But that's fine. That's fine. Alrighty, the slide is on. So now it's time to put on the carburetor, just like so. But before I do that, I would like to just lube it up a little bit so it's nice and working. I mean, it's a dry carb, so it should be lubed up a little bit. Just a little bit, not much. That's better. And now just a little bit here. So when you start using it for the first time, it moves nice and smoothly. And I'm using WD-40 equivalent, which is 4X. It's just cheap WD-40. It's pretty much the same. So now, just a matter of putting the slide on. And there's a little spot right there in the carb the slide needs to hit. There we go. And now we just gently screw it on. And in theory, there we go. We have a working carburetor. Now it's just a matter of mounting it to the engine and testing it out if it runs properly or not. It should, but you never know. Alrighty, let's get into that. Okie dokie, so right now this is the engine. I've fitted it with a brand new cylinder and piston. It's a Aircel Maxima T6 which gives out around 16 horsepower, something like that. Now what we need to do is mount our carburetor right here. There's a rubber, not bushing but a boot, and also there is a rubber boot on the other side for the air intake. Now this is a tight space, so filming here is pretty much impossible, so I'm not going to film it, but it's pretty simple. Well, it's not easy, but it's simple. You just press it on here, press it on there, attach some hoses, and there we go, job done. So I'll bring you back when I do that. Whatever. Well, as you can see there, the carburetor is on. It's fully on. Every hose is on it. I had to do a bit of, well, let's say, just a slight modification to the mount system of the engine, because the old carb was just smaller, so I had to make it fit. But otherwise, it's pretty good. As you can see, the gas tank is still missing. Now it's time to install that. And after that is the very fun phase of tuning your carburetor. So I'll bring you back once I've installed the gas tank. The way you do it is very simple. You just push it down and connect this little black hose right here, which goes straight down to the carburetor, and that's it. So let's get straight into it. Welcome back. As you can see, the Derby is fully assembled now. What came to me as a big surprise was that the carburetor did not require any tuning, at least for now. I did just a couple of minutes of driving. It's looking pretty damn good. So this is the next day. Basically what I found is that I needed a new fuel hose, which I went and bought today. So now that that's installed and the tank is installed and the petcock is installed, which was a bit of a pain because it wasn't it fit perfectly for the gas tank, but there was an error. The problem was that the frame of the bike itself couldn't. I couldn't fit the gas tank through it without taking off the petcock, so I had to put the gas tank in and then plug in the petcock. It was a bit of a pain, but whatever. It was fine. It took me maybe an hour of total time to get it fixed and get it running. Few things I've got. Few things that I've got to say about this carburetor. This is a Dell'Orto 21mm with a button choke and a sort of a piston actuated gas. So it's surprisingly good. I mean, the power increase after the carb change is so dramatical. It's unbelievable. Before, basically the bike was, after I installed the new cylinder and piston, it was like, okay, I can feel more power, but it's nothing, ridiculous. It's not over the head of power, which I was sort of expecting, because it was a switch from 5 horsepower to 18 horsepower. It's a big gap. So I was like, okay, it's good, but it's not like dramatically different. Well, now it is. Let me show you. Alright, we all suit up, so let's take this thing for a spin, shall we? Okay, as you guys can see, it's got tons of torque. It just accelerates like hell. As I've said previously, or not, I'm not so sure, top speed hasn't changed that much, but holy hell, the acceleration has changed. The bike just flies forward, and it's, well, it's, to be honest, it was a bit scary the first time because I wasn't expecting this much big of a difference, but I like it. Alright, this will probably be the end of this video. I might upload some later on, sort of a follow-up video of you know, me actually riding the bike with the camera on and stuff like that, so you can get the full motor vlog experience. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you found it interesting in some way or the other, maybe helpful, who knows. You can go ahead and like the video, subscribe, follow and everything like that. And also, I've got a great announcement for you guys living on Austevoll. From today on, which is Sunday the 8th of August, our blacksmithing branch of the company, which I've previously spoken about, haven't really showed you guys that much of it, but you saw the forge in one of the videos. I think it was a CBR video or something. We are now open in a sort of a partnership with the local store called Mick Austevoll. So right now you can go ahead and find our blacksmith hand forged products in the shop in Mick Austevoll. I'm gonna post a link below to the site. Here's the shop itself. There we go. Yeah, I hope you probably know it if you live here. So it's worth checking out. Maybe you'll find something interesting there and help us out a bit over here at Milo and Marky's Garage and Hammerdrum Blacksmithing, Mechanics and Music. Again, thanks for watching, and as always, keep on riding.